Welcome back, and we have another guest. He's a lawyer in the state of Kuwait, Mr. Khaled al Askar. Good evening, sir, and thank you so much for being with us.
Good evening.
You have witnessed the first guest. We were talking about the small enterprises, the small business, and what exactly we need to do to help them out. Now, here comes the legal section here, which you are a lawyer, and let's say, God forbid, somebody gets in trouble and he's looking for or seeking a legal help. That's where your part comes in here. Exactly what do you provide for these small enterprises, a help in legal system?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for this interview and to present myself as a Kuwaiti lawyer and represent my membership as a Kuwaiti lawyer in the Association of Kuwait Lawyers Association. And of course, this is a very important role for the lawyer to be enhancing the project or the business that's been given and provided by enterprises and entrepreneurs. And going back to the question, we have to understand the role of the lawyer by identifying and defining the name of the lawyer. Not anybody is able to have the legal actions without authorization from Kuwait Lawyers Association. So having this opportunity is only for the citizen of the country. This is worldwide, not even just for Kuwait. This is worldwide, and this has a logic reason because the lawyer in Kuwait has the understanding of the chemistry of the law and the creation of the articles in this certain country. So, and in fact, that anyone who goes to take legal actions could be committing a crime regarding this activity without any permission.
That's wonderful. What about the required procedures for any small enterprise that would love to start up their business? What exactly they need to do?
Well, actually, I will go to the point.
Okay.
The establishment of
That's
the company.
That's the name of the program, to
yes,
the point.
To the point, actually. The establishment of a company shall consist a contract under which one or two persons that commit themselves to participate in a profit making project by providing a share of money or work to share the profits or losses arising from this project. Also, there is an option to establish a non-profit companies such as your previous guest,
okay,
or such as Lawyer, which is the trends now, under a contract or system that sets the right of partners, obligations and conditions. The partner shares is regulated simply by the company contract as well as the conditions according to Kuwaiti Companies Law number 1 on 2016. And we see this is a present date which refers to the state of Kuwait that has the improvement and updated laws, and the company may not issue value bonds or receive any donations. This is a very significant point. The most important condition for establishing the company is that the contract should be written in official papers through a certified official editor, otherwise it will be invalid. And so we symbolize the 3 steps to submit a request to the Ministry of Commerce. This is the first, specifying the entity of the company and to give the recommendation letters and what is required for the type of the company you are willing to do. The second is to provide all the real and exact identifying documents for the partners. The third and fourth is certifying a credit from the bank for the minimum capital requirements, and the fourth that you have to register this company through the Ministry of Justice.
And this is applied for citizens and expatriates. This is the law.
This is the law.
Okay.
This is for straight
Small,
ahead
okay.
points
Small business and
to
enterprises.
establish.
People, prefer limited liability. They do not want to take a full responsibility if they fall down or if maybe fell out or something like that, or if they fail. Your point of view or your advisement comes so precious and valuable for them.
Okay, let's go to revise the kinds of companies according to commerce law in Kuwait, which is provided by the government in 1980. This is very historical, and we see that Kuwait is very improvement of this kind of laws. We have 7 kinds of companies according to this law: the joint venture, and we have the limited liability company, which is LLC, which you are referring. Joint stock companies.
Could you hold on this LLC? It stands for what?
LLC stands for liability, limited liability companies. Limited liability companies.
Okay.
And a famous example for this is Google, the massive search engine in the world. It's an LLC company. And we have also a shareholding company, limited partnership company, general partnership company, and a one-man company. Well, going back to the answer, for the reason behind preferring to work in limited liability companies is that most of these companies are founded by 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever this number exceeds of partners. And it's managed and taking responsibility on one and only one manager. The activity is limited and identified, unlike other companies where you have a variety of expansion and many categories. The majority is subject to a founding association and the board of directors. This is very important for the LLC as a company. The activities are very large, and most of the work is overseen. All the shareholders or the partners can see this company and what its work. It allows a foreign partner also. It's very important without exceeding 49% of this company. It's always a foreign partner without exceeding. The financial responsibility of the partners are not equal, and this is a very significant point where every partner is responsible upon the shareholding he provided this company with.
Unfortunately, people who are trying to get rich so fast, they take the wrong path, and also they do illegal stuff by funding their own enterprises. Probably ignorance, probably they don't know the law, and somehow they end up in jail. So your firm, or probably your office, is the doors are wide open for people to help themselves to avoid these circumstances.
Well, let's say something very clear. When it comes to law and lawyers, people always refer to, let's say, dark ages, debate, problems.
Dark ages, that's a good one, okay.
And some kind of debates, and there are people who are just trying to argue and have sanctions and whatever. But referring to the identification I gave about the lawyer, we have to understand that the legitimate lawyer is responsible upon what he says, and he is the only person who can give this advice by responsibility. So the legal way, if we are talking about funding, the legal way or the golden rule for some kind of funding or businesses, that you must have documentations on all your actions, or you can have a proof on any action or legal action you want to take. This is the golden rule in the world of business and commerce. Also, if we want to talk about funding, we have also a golden rule, which is having clean money. Refers to a document. You have to have a document that refers to the money, or the source you have from this loan or financing system.
Otherwise, you will be going through the money laundering.
Money laundering, which is called in the financial world inflation.
Inflation.
Any inflation inspected in your bank account can lead you to money laundering charges.
And the consequences are very severe here.
Very severe, and you cannot protect yourself unless you have a legitimate documentation that can help you
provide the source of the money.
Yeah. And here comes the role of the lawyer and law, which can predict.
That's why we have you, Khaled al Askar.
You can predict yourself, you can analyze, and you can have a study very clearly, and you have the exit point in the worst case scenario of the business.
What about the contract? People here, I'm not talking about in the state of Kuwait, I'm talking about in general, they kind of don't know what to do with the contract.
Yeah.
Like probably they have some kind of rules, conditions, and probably options. Sometimes they write it in the small letters, you cannot read them, and you end up signing on this paper, and then after that you become liable.
Okay.
Okay, ignorance cannot be protected by the law, correct?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
So we want to make this more complicated as lawyers. So we have a golden rule, which is the pacta sunt servanda. The pacta sunt servanda is a Latin word that means that the contract that's been written between two parties is the Sharia, or it's the law between two parties. So you have to be through this contract and arbitrating through it and having all your judgments, let's say, or arbitrations through this contract. So the contract should be void for the company, and it's supposed to be written, as we mentioned. And because we are talking about contract in the beginning, if it's a company, if you are establishing a company, it should go through official papers and writers. But if you are talking about private contracts, we are referring to this golden rule, which is the principle we mentioned. And to avoid any violated acts on the contract, we must make sure that it doesn't affect the management, such as corrosion, fraud, or confusion. This is a very important
confusion.
Confusion.
What do you mean by that? Confusion.
Confusion, that everything should be clear, everything should be written, everything should be documented and clear, to have the worst case scenario in any conflict or misunderstanding or exiting this.
What about the challenging, Mr. Al Askar? Because lots of people, they have challenges ahead of them when they open up a business. I'm talking about legally.
Yeah.
So your advice should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for them. So as a legal advisor,
I have two golden rules. First of all, you have to educate yourself. You have to
educate yourself in what?
In the legal system.
Okay, good.
You can have consultations. We are always available to support, to give advice, to be, let's say, an assistant for entrepreneurs and startups and intermediates till high level of businesses. This is very important. The startup should go through an analysis. He should visit law firms, sit with lawyers, and try to understand the legal system of the Ministry of Commerce and how the system works. And this is the two golden rules.
What about the government? You see, this here in the Middle East, everything is controlled by the government.
Yep.
Okay. In order for you to open up a business, you have to have a permit from certain establishments in the state of Kuwait and in the GCC area. This is the common thing. Do you offer some kind of help for these small enterprises to represent them in these establishments, in these governmental ministries?
Of course, through an authorization, we can represent
the power of attorney.
a power of attorney. We can represent any some kind of business or a person in this kind of job, and we can advise him. We can give him the support, and we can give him everything he needs legally through the system of this project.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Honestly, I would love for you to continue on talking, especially these days, because everybody wants to become rich.
Yes, of course.
And your office is wide open for people to help
course.
them. And also, we'd love to have you once again on our program.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank Mr. Khaled al Askar. He's a lawyer, attorney at law in the state of Kuwait, and he would love to help anybody who have some kind of inquiry regarding open up a business in the state of Kuwait. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Thank you.
Well, folks, I hope that you have enjoyed every moment of this program, because we gave you all the programs and all the information you needed to know regarding open up a business or enterprises. We had two distinguished guests, and we will continue next week with the same agenda but different subject right here on KTV2. I'm Ahmed Al-Wasmi. I will see you next week at the same time, 8:45. Until then, take care of yourself and each other, and good night.